Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to see you. My YouTube family is growing thanks to you guys. Do keep tuned in and do subscribe so that my family can really be the most lovable family in the world. Now, the topic for today, uh, are you the best parent? I'm sure you are. Everyone wants to be the best parent for his child, and everyone wants the best for their children. How do you do that? How can you be the best parent in the world? Because the happiest people are those who are the most successful, and vice versa. Many studies have told us that the most successful people are those who've had the best childhoods. So, I'm going to give you 5 feelers today, or 5 rules, or 5 dictums, whatever you'd like to call them, so that you can become the best parent. Number 1, ensure that you give him a good critical inner voice. These inner voices are those voices which help us sail through life, but they can also be very debilitating. You see, whatever decisions we take in life are impacted by what our voice tells us inside, what we feel about ourselves inside, what complexes we have. And these are mostly formed in childhood, in the formative years. These are given to us by our parents, and mostly our parents are those who are around us. So, be a good parent. Number 2, choose your words very carefully. How you speak to your child really impacts him a lot. Often parents use words like, oh, you're good for nothing, or you're so messy, or you're not done well, you're so poor at studies, or your brother is better than you, or your friend is better. All these words, they really bring him down mentally, emotionally. They play havoc with his mental status, and he carries these through his life. What can you use instead of these words? You can use better words. Instead of saying you are lazy, use the opposite. Say, I'm sure you'll be better if you're more active. If you find he's not disciplined, talk about discipline. Tell him, I'm sure I'll be happier if you're more disciplined. If he's messy, if you find that his room is messy, talk about the mess, not about him. Go and tell him, well, I'm sure this mess is troubling you. Let's put it together. I'm sure you've understood what I said. Use powerful reinforcing words, positive reinforcing words, which give him a good mental state. I'll validate this point for you. You've all heard of Thomas Alva Edison, the great genius. He's the one who invented the light, the bulb. He was also he also was very an important factor in the motion pictures coming in the forefront. As a child, one day he came home with a letter in his hand. He gave that letter to his mom, and he said, Mom, my teacher asked me to give you this letter. As the mom read out the letter, she had tears in her eyes, because the letter said that your child is mentally deficient. We cannot keep him in the school. Please take him away. Teach him at home. But she did not tell all this to her son. She read out to him. She said, your child is excellent. The school is not good enough for him. Please keep him at home. Many years later, Edison became a genius. He became the inventor of the century. One day he opened his closet and found that letter. And when he read the contents, tears flowed down his eyes. His mother, with her few words, had turned him into a genius. Now, I'm not saying all children can become a genius, but yeah, your words do impact a child a lot. And there are lots of examples of this. What's the next point? What's the third point? The third point is teach your child self-validation. We always ask our child what the teacher thinks of him or what the others think of him. When he brings his project to you, or a painting or a drawing, ask him what he feels about it. Teach him validation rather than being codependent on others. Otherwise, all through his life, he'll be thinking about what others think about him. Teach him self-validation. Give him choices in life, in small things, whether it's a blue t-shirt or a yellow t-shirt. Don't always make choices for him. Give him a chance to make choices so that he becomes more self-confident. The next point, that is point number 4, discipline. Of course, discipline is very, very important. When you discipline, remember the 2 P's. First, of course, is punishment. Now, punishment is a very harsh word, but you have to give punishment so that the child knows that there are repercussions for whatever he does in life. So when you want to punish a child, rather than using harsh, sarcastic words, take away some facility from him. For example, that weekend treat, or maybe give him half an hour less of playtime, or tell him that he cannot watch TV that evening. Stuff like that. You've understood what I mean. And the next P, of course, is promise. When you make a promise, keep your promise. Whether it's to punish him, when you've announced a punishment once, ensure that you follow it. And if you made a promise once, ensure that you follow it so that he knows that his parents mean what they say. And last but not the least, be his good role model. You remember, your children are watching you all the time. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are doing impacts them a lot. And that, for whatever you say to him, is most of the time the gospel truth. So the way you treat your spouse, the way you speak to your spouse, whether you speak with disrespect or respect, the way you talk to people around you, especially those who work for you, the way you treat stray animals, the way you keep your stuff, whether you're messy or not, remember he's listening, he's watching all the time, and he thinks that's the way to live life. So be the best role model. I'm sure you can. Be the best parent. Do subscribe to my channel if you like it. Press the bell icon, and if you want more about what I'm saying, read it in my book, Keep the Faith, Drop the Fear. Bye.